Have you ever met someone who left you without thinking? Is there really such a good thing in the world? The opportunity to read the fine print on this description. Propylene gas concentration. Look for signs that prove your suspicions right. I have a suggestion for you. I'm pretty sure you've heard it voice before, but I still have to tell you. If you suspect something is too good to be true, please believe in yourself. Look at me now. 9 hours left. I have to spend my time at this table watching the surveillance screen. Then you can go home. Think about what's wrong with you. We'll believe this salary The job content is extremely simple, and the preservation is in short supply. No problem. Why didn't I notice? Browse this plant online, and how to get to your unusual signs. Why do I feel so lucky? After completing the duty, there is still a chance to regret your choice. Let's go back a few days and see. I scanned Reddit for local shortages. Then one of the information that caught my eye, a basic security post. The job description involves locking doors at night. Look at the monitor and notify the company when an abnormal situation occurs. The introduction says they're going to pay $37 solid. One immediately. The salary that does not match the work content of the box. Suspicious. Especially since I'm not online yet. We found additional information about this company. Their humble website. There are only a few founders. And photos around the building. They didn't say what their business was. However, because I took a relevant course a year ago, so eligible for the job, and considering that I have the opportunity to spend one night, earn $300, it's tempting. Even if it's a scam. Anyway, send a resume, then see if it will be sent. It doesn't hurt anything. I want to send out my resume in less than an hour. I got a call from a private number. We had an unusual conversation. The person on the other end of the phone, it sounds like no witness experience, rather than sounding stressed or uneasy. Another unusual sign, but I was still here. This might work. Even if I fail, I have nothing to lose. I'll try to recreate the conversation in a moment. Hello, is that Christopher? A voice on the other end asked. Yes. May I ask who you are? And I said, yes. I work at I'm Daniel Edwards. Is the person in charge of the resource management department. Keon Bukwan Director. I'm calling you because you sent us a resume. Daniel paused for a moment, and I waited expectantly for him to finish his sentence. But the silence lasted too long, and then I realized he had finished. What about my application? Unhung. We want you to come to the company ER, conduct an interview. Your certificate looks good. It looks good, yeah. Could you please arrive at the address within 2 hours? I was surprised. For me, it's either a scam or they're in dire need of manpower. Maybe even tonight. If the latter, I'm pretty confident, convincing them to offer me a higher salary. So I made a decision. Google the police and search for that address. See if you can, before the past, find more information. If it doesn't look okay, I'll knock out the interview. No problem. Thank you. Daniel hung up before I could finish speaking. Fast forward to 2 hours later. I arrived at my destination, surrounded by Ville. It's in an industrial area of the city where I live, and there are 2 buildings. Although there is no conspicuous logo hanging, but it looks good, right? Probably belonging to the company I'm going to. I drive my 2001 Honda Civic, go through the gate to the parking lot. Something was wrong, but right now, I don't see it. Where does that feeling come from? Until I came to the parking lot. except for the only car on the huge venue. It's empty. I got out of the car, then walk in and face huge single-story building in the parking lot. The door is not locked. The receptionist's seat is empty. There's dust on the fan blades. There is no paid email on the job application website. Plus, Daniel called me from a private number. I'm not sure what to do next, so I decided to wait in the lobby for a few minutes. Take a look around. The entrance is a glass door. The front wall is a floor-to-ceiling window. There are metal shutters on the windows. The control panels are mounted on the walls of the building. The receptionist's desk faces the wall opposite the door. There are 8 chairs on either side of the hall, and 2 small coffee tables, and a few old magazines. There is a short corridor to the left of the hall. There are 2 doors by the aisle. The lens is a thick and no decorative metal door. It's filled with dents of different shapes and sizes. I don't know why. That metal door makes me uneasy. There is a small window on each of the 3 doors. It's got wire mesh. Some kind of black paint or fabric is blocking it. There's another corridor on the right. Strange to say, I can't remember the length of that corridor. Obviously, normally, I will not forget these details. The impression is that there are 4 doors. Still 2. 16 fans. I'm not even sure. Does it really have a length? I didn't see the corridor footage. Behind the reception round table is another corridor. The lens is attached to the trapezoidal cross. First on the left door, it's made of metal coated with brown paint. It has the guardhouse printed on it. After waiting for a minute, a man ran in through the front door. Sorry to keep you waiting. I'm Joshua, the head of the Human Resources Management Department, he said in a hasty tone, looking nervous and timid. Don't even dare to do it with me. Eye contact for more than a second. While shaking hands with him, I could feel his cold palms sweating. My name is Christopher Newman. I paused for a few seconds. There was a wave of suspicion, so I decided to test him. Can you give me a reasonable reason to convince me? Me and a guy named Daniel, Edward's man, over the phone. I thought he was the head of human resources, but Joshua just ignored me. Mr. Newman, my company urgently needs a security guard. The original 2 left this morning, but we can't afford it. The consequences of leaving the company unattended overnight. We ask you to arrive as soon as possible. This is because you have to start work after sunset, because of the emergency, so we'll skip some normal procedures. If you are willing to start working now, then you are admitted. Your salary is $37, real salary, no armor. After signing this confidentiality contract, you can confess. I don't like his tough attitude, but it turned out that my guess was correct. They are seeking an urgent and probably temporary manpower. I have no reason to pay so much by my salary. Water said to make up for me to open the confidentiality contract. It's too long, so I'll just skip most of it. But I know what these contracts say. Don't reveal company secrets or anything like that. I sign my name, then follow restraint to the guard room. My job training was brief. This is your key. This pair is for the guardhouse. This pair will open up most offices, and these are the blinds that control the lobby. This is your new mag. You can use it in an emergency, but I suggest you lock yourself in the guard room. If there are any unusual circumstances, just call us. You just sit in the guardhouse, then just look at the surveillance screen. No need for patrols, because you don't have a partner. Can watch the monitor while you patrol. We have no uniforms. You just don't wear a badge on your shirt. The front door is the only unlocked door now. Ignore the other gate. An office is in the hallway. Lock the door. That's it. The new flashlight brand. What was that activist? I asked, pointing to the activist at the table. It has the company's trademark printed on it. Unhung. Wait until you're on duty. Joshua, when I mentioned that activist, doesn't look natural. Stuttering. Talk while avoiding my sight. Didn't even stay. See if I have any other questions. He hastily sat down. The only car in the parking lot, not counting mine. Then accelerate away. I got to work immediately. Go outside and lock the door. Close the metal shutters on the glass window. Lock the front door. Then lock yourself in the guard room. Then open the live leaf clip. That active time. The reasons that drove me to write this article. When I opened that file, I had expected to see a long, boring company rules, including some situations that may be encountered later, like how to deal with thieves or vandals. You know, something like that. But I was wrong. It's one page, and it said something that made me realize the world is not so beautiful. Working too. Why am I so scared now? Welcome to XX Company. To ensure the personal safety of security personnel. Here are 10 security personnel. Rules that must be followed. No entry to the first promenade. If you accidentally step over the threshold from the lobby, turn around immediately. Then walk back. Don't run. Second, don't look at the corridor for a long time. If any of the monitors show the promenade, turn it off immediately. Third, don't open the door called the short corridor lens. Building 42 is off limits, and only allowed to be observed with a monitor. Fifth, if you must go out, only the front door is allowed. Sixth, the coffee machine will be at 2:17 in the morning. Auto open. Before that, please make sure to place a cup on the coffee machine. When the liquid is injected into the cup, please put him outside the guardhouse door. Lock the door. Don't open it until 2:37 in the morning. Seventh, between 4:01 and 4:02 in the morning. Please, don't leave the guardhouse. Eighth, if you hear somewhere in the building a woman's voice, please unlock the door on the left side of the shorter corridor, unless that voice invites you. Otherwise, don't enter the door. Don't look at his face. If you hear a male voice when you open the door, return to the guardhouse immediately. Ninth, if you feel immediate danger, please dial this number from the phone in the guard room before sunrise. Do not contact the emergency department. 10th, under any circumstances, it is forbidden to leave a certain company before sunrise. 9 hours left on duty. I'd rather take the risk and run away from this hell. I don't want to stay here anymore, but the rules are clearly written. I must bring it to the sunrise. Wish me luck. It's 2:15 in the morning. So far, nothing much has happened, but hopefully I don't want to talk. I spent the last few hours leaning against the surveillance screen and read it to kill time. Relieve my nervousness, by the way. In 2 minutes. It's almost time for that demon coffee machine. I have put away the cup. Hope all goes well. 3:30 in the morning. Demon coffee. After I put it in the door, it disappeared on its own. The rules are just the time I spend in the guardhouse. I heard some knocking and scratching on the door, but the surveillance screen can't see it. The surveillance camera at the door of the guardhouse suddenly turned to the promenade, so I had to turn it off. Room corner. I don't know when there was a shadow, but the color is darker than a normal shadow. Even if I shine a flashlight on him, he won't disappear. It just didn't say anything about shadows. so I'm not going to have any contact with him, and check from time to time if he has changed his form or move. I haven't heard a woman's voice yet. I swear I used my peripheral vision a few times, skimming to the surveillance screen of Building 2, flash figure. But when I looked more closely, but found nothing, I already have a little doubt. Is this place haunted or not? 4:29 a.m. I was scared, so there is no now. Just record those things. But these things happen roughly. I'll tell you more about it in the next post. I'm at 3. I heard a woman's voice. I was going to ignore him until 4:02, but it got louder and louder until it's about to burst my eardrum. So I gave up, and he invited me in. But the moment I sat down, I heard a man's voice. So I ran right back to the guard room. As for what happened at 4:01, I'll write it later. I still can't get rid of the shadows completely. I can only say, I am very grateful for the metal door construction of the guardhouse, and I'm really, very nan. I often regret taking this job. Okay, I took a break. I'll just pick up where I left off last time. 3:45 a.m. The woman's voice began, in a language I don't understand. Whispers can also be just meaningless whispers. Solidarity emerged from somewhere to my left. Then kept changing directions. I was going to be in the guard room, wait until 4:02 to open the door. But the whispers kept getting louder, until it gave me a physical headache. During that time, that sound, it's the only thing I can feel, like someone screaming straight into my head. And then I realized, since the sound came, it's only been 2 minutes. And if I have to endure another 15 minutes, I'm probably really going crazy. So I ran out of the guardhouse, past the dusty reception table, go straight to the shorter corridor, in a hurry, insert the key into the keyhole in the door, scream, stopped the moment I unlocked the door, the inside of the room. It's a blur in my memory, but I remember there was a table right in the middle. There was a chair on each side. The only light source is directly shining. Bright, I can't be in that dark space. See anything else? A woman is sitting in a distant chair, and he asked me to sit across from him. It feels weird to walk in the dark. My footsteps make no sound. Emotions somehow hit rock bottom, but I just sat down. A while, man, the muffled cry came into my ears. So I immediately rushed back to the guard room without looking back. It was 4 o'clock. I wasn't even in that room. Wait more than 20 seconds. I mentioned in my last post what happened between 4:01 and 4:02. It really scared the hell out of me. I promised then that I would tell. Your details. Maybe write these things down can help me forget that thing. At that time, the middle point was 4:01. A burst of tingling in the spine. The flying man's scream suddenly came from the hall. On the monitor screen, I don't even know what I saw. But that's not human. I can swear. I can't remember his body clearly. I just remember it was black, slightly larger than a normal person. See the moment? And looking back now, the constant fear still ravages my body. Serious enough for the nights, since I couldn't sleep at all. The thing rushed out of the hallway, run into the hall, then rushed to the door, called the short corridor lens, hanging vigorously with his arms up. I didn't see or hear him personally, but I'm still sure he can in an instant kill me. Then he gave up attacking the door, start sprinting back and forth in the lobby and outside the guard room. The only thing I can do, only watching him run back and forth through the monitor, hear him scream, and his invisible feet on a cheap linoleum carpet, irregular footsteps, and I was watching him sprint. He suddenly looked at the monitor. He has no eyes. I didn't see the rest of the face. I only know that he stopped for an instant, and he's looking at me with those empty eyes, until even his screams almost always blends into the background. I can feel his gaze burning alien, trapeze emotions, mixed with curiosity. Then suddenly it turned to hatred. When I looked at him, I think this creature, as the entire universe, hate me to an unsurpassed degree. He tried to kill me. As long as I'm alive, even if you have to climb mountains and mountains, through the flames, through purgatory, he will do anything to wipe me out with his own hands. Until the moment of death, I may never be able to escape from his endless hatred. He will keep chasing me. Then he disappeared from the screen, rushed to the guardhouse, and when he began to attack, the scarred brown metal door, and it dawned on me, from start to finish, he never stopped screaming. I don't know how many arms he has, probably between 2 and 9. His form seems to be constantly changing. He was screaming unspeakable evil like alien creatures, and seems to be getting more and more dissatisfied, desperate to break in. But please, tear me apart. But that damned door was blocking him. This piece of metal, the human creation he hated, make it impossible for him to get the only thing he cares about. Demonic screams gradually turned the wall. The metal door swayed violently, as if he was about to lose the strength of the other end. Destroyed, just when I thought I might die here. Screams and all kinds of noises suddenly stop in an instant. I look at the clock at 4:02. I decided to use a while ago because it shows the promenade screen and the surveillance screen I turned off to see what's going on. There is no sign of the monster outside, and the metal door of the guardhouse is unexpectedly unscathed. After I was certain that the monster had really left, I opened the live leaf rack and make an emergency call from the guardhouse phone. The phone rang for a long time. Finally, someone picked it up. I am Daniel Edward. Let me guess, the screamer showed up you. How do you know? No. He comes out at the same time every night. No more, no less. Exactly 1 minute. Please, don't be active. Call with an explanation. Has he left? I feel him looking at me. The last person to see his eyes. What's up? Am I safe now? But he hung up the phone in silence. I accidentally skimmed towards the dark shadow in the corner of the guardhouse, because he doesn't move. Not so ominous in a way. So I decided, don't leave the guardhouse until the end of the shift, and at least wait until I get nearby, somewhere that sells coffee. Have a good rest. The rest of the time is tough. Surveillance screen in building 2. Dark shadows keep flashing, but then it disappeared just when I wanted to take a closer look. Even several times, the screen shows some space that doesn't exist in building 2, especially that door, an office that automatically switches on and off from time to time. Always scares me half to death. Surveillance screens for all technical codes at 5:55. I'll show the picture of the promenade. I had to scramble to turn them off one by one. I promise. A blur is visible on several of the screens. My covering face. Time goes by. I found the time on my phone. About 16 minutes later than the middle on the guardhouse wall. I decided to wait for the slower one. Go to get off work time, and then leave. I don't want to risk my life after all, to test what it is. Responsible for punishing those who leave early before sunrise. I will be on duty. What happened in the last hour? Write it down in a note with the time. It's easier to understand. 6:30, on screen 4, in the lobby. One appeared. A man with the same body and hair color as me. He turns to look at the camera. I found out he even looked like me, but I don't know what happened. He disappeared in the blink of an eye. 6:57 on screen 6, called the short corridor. I saw the metal door. I vibrated violently for about 20 seconds. 7:13, the chair at the reception table collapses by itself. 7:15, the chairs at the reception table stand up by themselves. The dust on it shows no signs of being touched. 7:32, screen 16, shows one of the corridors of building 2. But based on what I know about the landscape, that corridor should be outside the building. 7:50, I noticed on the computer screen at the reception table, an ancient one with a beige plastic shell, dust from CRT display, written with some kind of sign or foreign character. 8 o'clock, those marks are gone. The dark shadow from the guard's perspective also disappeared. Dawn of dawn. Finally, through the cracks in the blinds, enter the lobby. My shift ends at 9 o'clock. You can imagine how much I wish. Can escape this hell in no time. On the way from the guardhouse to the front door, I used the corner of my eye, spotted something in the hallway. Despite my best efforts to prevent myself from seeing him, something forced me to turn my head. In that hallway, some very long distance, maybe 100 yards. It could be just a few steps away. The concept of distance is of no use here. Have a face. He has no eyes. The skin on the face should be the part of the eyes. Inward depression. If he had skin, he grinned at me, bearing human teeth. I may have spent all my courage in my life. Just look away. Open the blinds and the front door. Open the door. Drop the key on the ground. Get in the car and leave as quickly as possible. If caught by the police, my driver's license might be revoked. As I accelerate away, I still feel the sight of that thing, as if to be cremated on tiptoe in the back of my head, as the distance gets farther and farther, and the sensation fades away. But until now, I still feel like he's still looking at me. At home, and even out of town, will only weaken, but never disappear. I couldn't sleep, unable to eat. I tried to contact that company, but not on the internet. Find any information about them. The original website has disappeared. Google search. It shows that there is no information found. They gave me the address on Google Maps. There is no company information either. The records of the application website disappeared. I wrote it in the Living Leaves house again. Write down the emergency contact number, but in the past tense. What responded to me was only the system voice. Tell me this number is already empty. A check. It appeared in my mailbox this morning. No reply address. The name on it is Joshua Green. Not enough information. With a note inside. This is your salary. I have a hunch you won't again. Continue to work for us. Anything that affects you will gradually disappear over the next few days. The company's paranormal containment plan. Extra normal containment solutions. See subsidiary. Thank you for your help. Joshua Collin, project leader. I don't know. Did I get myself into a stupid shit situation? I just hope that next, don't let anything find me again. Paranormal containment program. This is just like the actual SCP Foundation. And if they really have any connection, I'd rather be as far away as possible for the rest of my life. I don't think I'll ever ignore an application again. any signs of abnormality in the information. I will no longer accept suspicious jobs. Now I deeply believe, if something is too good to be true, trusting your instincts is the best policy.